Welcome to your weekly introduction videos. This week, again, it's going to be some quite basic stuff, so we're going to jump straight to the kind of more advanced elements of it. If moving too quickly, then just let me know. Okay, I'm happy to slow down, but also I don't want to insult your intelligence. So just communicate with me and let me know if things are a bit tough. So we're going to be looking at solving linear equations and rearranging formulae. So, as you know, we've done lots of that before. So we're going to jump straight to looking at linear equations involving fractions, and where I know you do struggle, which is solving worded problems using linear equations. And then we'll be looking at some rearranging. Again, we've done most of it, so hopefully it's just a review, a reminder of how it works. Okay, so here's 6 linear equations for you to solve. Stop the video and have a go. I'd hope at this stage that you would know how to do these, but if you need any help, just do ask. Okay, hopefully you did them. Let's just go through the answers. So the first one, x over 4 plus 5 equals negative 8. The first thing you need to do is take away 5 from both sides of the equation. Okay, so you're going to get x over 4 is equal to minus 8 minus 4, minus 5 is negative 13. And now what we're going to have to do is multiply both sides of the equation by 4, because I'm dividing. X divided by 4, so if I times by 4, it will get rid of it. And so I'm going to end up with x is equal to minus 13 times 4 is negative 52. So x should be negative 52. Okay. Second one is slightly different, and what you're going to need to do is get rid of the division before the subtraction. So you're going to times both sides of the equation by 3. So times by 3. Times by 3, and you're going to get 2x minus 3 equals negative 6. Now it becomes easy. 2x equals, add 3 to both sides, minus 3. So x is equal to minus 3 over 2. Now, unless the question says give your answer as a decimal, just leave your answer as a fraction. Much easier. Okay? That's a perfectly adequate answer. If you really wanted to, you could say minus 1.5. Or if it did say decimals, minus 1.5. Okay. Third one with the bracket. That's easy. Just expand out the brackets first. 6x minus 3 is equal to minus 21. Now it's super simple. 6x equals, add 3 to both sides, minus 18. So then x equals negative 3. Okay. Just delete some of these, get some space. And, don't really think that the next question is any harder, really. Just expand the brackets. So you're going to get 2d plus 3d minus 3 equals 7. And then simplify the left-hand side. So you're going to get 5d minus 3 equals 7. 5d equals 10. d equals 2. Okay, again, flashing through it very quick. If there's anything you're not sure about, do let me know. Fifth one, this one here, you've got x's on both sides of the equation. Well, that's okay, because you can subtract variables as well as numbers. Okay, so what we're going to do is subtract x from both sides of the equation, and I'll get 2x plus 2 equals 14. So 2x equals 12, x equals 6, and then the last one is the same process, just need to expand first. So 3x plus 6 equals x minus 1. Subtract x from both sides, I'll get 2x plus 6 equals negative 1. So 2x equals negative 7, so x is equal to minus 7 over 2. Just leave it as a fraction. Okay. So, as I said, I think you'll probably find that very, very easy. If you don't, that's okay. Just tell me and I will do my best to help you. Okay? Right, so moving on. These are the kinds of equations where some of you do begin to get a little bit stuck. So I'm just going to teach in a slightly different way than I have in the past. So we've got x over 2 equals 3 plus x over 5. Now, one way of solving these equations is they're fractions, right? So why don't we make a common denominator? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this one by 5 and top and bottom of this one by 2 so that I get a common denominator of 10. So I'm going to get 5x over 10 is equal to, well, I'm going to need to use brackets here, 2 lots of 3 plus x over 10. Okay, so all I've done is I've tried to make a common denominator. Now, just look at the logic of that. I'm saying something over 10 is equal to something over 10. So that means that whatever this bit is must be equal to this bit. So the beauty of making a common denominator is that I can now ignore it. Okay, I can just say straight away 5x then must be equal to 2 times 3 plus x. And now I just need to solve it in the normal way. So it'll be 6 plus 2x. Take 2x from both sides. 3x equals 6. X equals 2. Okay, so you can make a common denominator. And then once you've got the common denominator, you can actually ignore it. And you know that the numerators must be equal to each other. Okay, same here. We've got 1 over 2x equals minus 3. You could make a common denominator here, but I think the best thing to do is multiply both sides of the equation by 2x. People seem to believe sometimes that you can't muck around with the variable, but yeah, you can multiply both sides by an x or a 2x, or you can multiply an equation by whatever you want, as long as you do it to both sides, so that we remain balanced. So what will happen is we'll end up with 1 on the left-hand side is equal to minus 6x, and so now x is equal to negative 1 over 6, because all I've done is divide both sides by minus 6. Okay, very, very easy, I hope. Okay, again, here, this is actually a very similar equation, really. Just looks a bit more difficult. All you're going to do here is, again, multiply both sides by the denominator of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by x minus 1 and multiply by x minus 1. And what you must do is make sure you use a bracket. So the beauty of the left-hand side is you're going to be left with only 3x plus 1. On the right-hand side, put your bracket in. So many of you forget about your bracket, and that's why you can't do it. Once you remember to put the bracket in, it's very, very easy. So 3x plus 1 equals negative 2x plus 2. Be careful with negatives. So then plus 2x to both sides, you're going to get 5x plus 1 equals 2. Then take 1 from each side. 5x equals 1. So x must be equal to a fifth. Okay? Again, hope that makes sense to everybody. Now have a look at this one. This is not really any more difficult. We've spent some time looking at algebraic fractions. So what we've got here is just two fractions. So, and I can add them together. Even though there's x's in them, I can add them together really easily. All I've got to do is make a common denominator. Well, the lowest common multiple of 2 and 8 is actually 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this as x over 8 plus 4, use a bracket, 4 lots of x plus 2 over 8. So I've just rewritten the second fraction so that we end up with a common denominator of 8. Okay, if that's not clear to anyone, just let me know. And in the case of where we've got the common denominator the same, it's easy to add the fractions. It's just going to become x plus 4 over x plus 2 all over 8 equals negative 1. Now I'm going to simplify, well I'm going to expand and simplify the numerator. So I get x plus 4x plus 8 over 8 equals negative 1. And so I get 5x plus 8 over 8 equals negative 1. Now it looks like one we can already do. Times both sides by 8. 5x plus 8 equals negative 8. 5x equals minus 16, taking away 8 from both sides. So x is equal to minus 16 over 5. And you can leave your answer like that. You don't need to do anything different. Okay? If you really want, you can say x is equal to negative 3 1/5, or x is equal to negative 3.2. But unless the question says, that is a completely adequate answer. Okay, and you can stop and save yourself a bit of time. Okay, here are 6 questions for you to have a go at. Stop the video, have a go at them, and then run the video for solutions. Okay, hopefully you've done that. Hopefully you're doing things properly. I lied. I said I was going to do solutions. I'm not going to do solutions, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how on your graphic calculator you can actually directly get it to solve equations for you, okay? So if you're on paper 4 or paper 6, you can actually use your calculator directly and you get the answers. But remember, you still need to learn these. These are far more likely to appear on a paper 2 where you don't have a calculator. So what I want you to do is stop this video right now, go and find the task that says using a calculator to solve equations, okay? Use your calculator and check that you got the right answers, okay? So do it yourself. If you're a person that doesn't have a graphic calculator yet, well, I'm sorry about that. You just have to make sure you get one as soon as you can. And if you've got any doubts about any of the answers, then just ask me, okay? Right, now here is where you guys tend to get a bit unstuck, which is when we've got worded questions that require a equation, okay? So here it says the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 132. Find the smallest integer. So why don't we make the smallest integer be equal to x? With 3 consecutive integers, well, the next integer is just going to be x plus 1. And the next integer after that is going to be x plus 2. And it says find the sum of these. So it wants me to add these 3 numbers together. And when I add those 3 numbers together, the answer is going to be 132. So we've made an equation. Just solve it. 3x plus 3 equals 132. 3x equals 129. Okay, so what does x equal? Divide by 3 on both sides. 129 divided by 3 equals 43. Okay, so the smallest integer you said was x, so the answer is 43. Okay. Now, if twice a number is subtracted from 11, the result is 4 more than the number. So let's make the number, let's say the number is x. Twice a number is subtracted from 11. Now be very, very careful. Very, very, very careful with that. We're not saying subtract 11 from twice a number. We're saying subtract twice the number from 11. So it's 11 minus 2x, okay? And the result of that is 4 more than the number, or 4 more than the number is x plus 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I've got my equation, it's now easy to solve, add 2x to both sides, and at the same time I'm going to take away 4 from both sides, so I'm going to get 3x is equal to 7. So x is equal to 7 over 3, or we can write that as 2 1/3 if we want to, which is fine. I never said the number was an integer. Okay, so that is the right answer. Okay, stop the video and have a go at this question. It's very, very difficult. It's tricky. You're going to get confused with the wording. Okay, don't give up. Okay, if it takes you 20 minutes to figure it out, it's worth doing. Okay, worth fighting to have a go at it. And I'll give you a hint here. Actually, the way I did it was to use simultaneous equations rather than just an equation. Okay, so stop the video and have a go yourself, and then I will do the answer to this one. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go. Now this is quite tricky. Very easy to get this wrong. It says 4 years ago, Adrian was 1/4 of his brother's age. In 2 years' time, his age doubled will equal his brother's age. How old is Adrian now? So what we want to know is how old is Adrian now. So we'll say Adrian's age is X. Okay. Now how old is he? So how old was he 4 years ago? Well, clearly he was X minus 4 years old 4 years ago. Okay. And what we're saying is he was 1/4 of his brother's age. And so if he was 1/4 of his brother's age, then if I multiply that by 4, it must be equal to his brother's age 4 years ago. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call his brother's age Y. And so that is equal to what he was 4 years ago, Y minus 4. Okay? I'm also told in 2 years' time, so how old is Adrian in 2 years' time? He's 2 years older. His age doubled, so if I double his age, will be equal to his brother's age at that time. So his brother's age at that time will be Y plus 2. Okay? Just a simple rearrangement of those equations. I'm going to get 4 times x minus 4 is plus 4 is equal to y. And 2 times x plus 2 minus 2 is also equal to y. So now I can equate these two equations because they're both equal to y. So my final linear equation is going to be 4 times x minus 4 plus 4 is equal to 2 times x plus 2 minus 2. So expand the brackets, 4x minus 16 plus 4 equals 2x plus 4 minus 2. 4x minus 12 equals 2x plus 2. Subtract 2x from both sides, you get 2x minus 12 equals 2. So just work up here, 2x equals 14, so x equals 7. And that is the answer to my question. Note that it says how old is Adrian now? Well, that's what it is, x. I don't actually care what his brother's age is. So I could work it out, it wouldn't be too hard. But we don't need to, because the question just said what is his brother's age. Okay? So you've got to be really, really, really thoughtful with putting that equation together. So there's going to be a task for you on solving equations from worded information. I think that's what you find most difficult. It's actual solving of the equations you guys are very good at now, and you do that quite easily.